It's not every day that one of my favorite shows gets a live action adaptation. And that's for a good reason, because the live action Avatar sucked, and the new live action Avatar sucks more. I'm not happy with this show, so let's talk about it. I can't stop unseeing how cheaply made the sets in this show are. I kept thinking this show looks like a porno because the acting was so bad and the locations were so obviously made for a handful of shots before being discarded. It looks so cheap, just like the CGI. It is 2024 and the CGI in the show looks like it is from the early 2000s. I mean, this stuff looks worse than the Star Wars prequels. Appa and the Flying Rat are such eyesores whenever they're on screen. It's a long, long way to Ba Sing Se. First, we have questionable narrative changes, which I'm unsure of their purpose. The first one that pisses me off beyond belief is Sokka isn't a douchebag misogynist anymore. He's only naive with nothing driving it. In the original Avatar, Sokka is brought up with the idea that men are strong and women are too weak to fight. Then he is humbled when he finds elite female fighters at Kyoshi Island. In the live action, he thinks he's better because he thinks the Water Tribe is better, even though there's no real basis to this belief. This belief makes even less sense with the new added story about how Sokka is actually a pitiful fighter with no combat skills. The entire Kyoshi Island arc for Sokka was in the animated show because Sokka's preconceived notions of woman come from the cultural norms governed by his tribe. In other words, the women are weak because they are taught to be, so when Sokka finally meets strong woman, he's proven wrong just on facts. Compare that to the new narrative. Sokka thinks Kyoshi Island warriors are weak because they aren't Water Tribe. This makes no sense because Sokka has no frame of reference to motivate this belief. Sokka has never left the Water Tribe before going to Kyoshi Island, so why would he assume they're worse off? The actual answer is short-sighted, lazy, politically correct writing.
I smell cap.
I think the original narrative for Kyoshi Island is perfect. It applies to the real world. It shows us that women can be strong if taught to be, and that by constantly trying to exhibit your masculinity to others, you come off as unconfident. That narrative is gone now. Now it's, don't be naive. There's also instances where multiple episodes are condensed into one. For example, when the gang goes to Bumi's Earth Kingdom, this is also the episode where Iroh gets captured and Zuko has to find him. This pacing really left me confused watching the show. There were times where I felt like the show was moving on to another plotline, where after way too much time it would go back to a previous one that I had forgotten about. Sokka and Katara get stuck in the spirit world, which replaces the episode where they're sick, for some reason. And instead of the threat of them dying to their ailments, we get the threat of being in the spirit world longer, which the show doesn't really convey as being dangerous. Many a time are the actions from the animated show carried over while looking much worse in the live-action rendition. For example, when Zuko gets his scar in the original, he is blasted with fire when he begs for forgiveness. In the live-action, his father holds him down and pretty much tortures him with a fireball. Why? This didn't need to be changed, and it makes Ozai look like some crazy psychopath who enjoys torturing his son. What's less is more, and this show really fails to understand that. In the original show, the scene where Zuko goes underwater is incredibly suspenseful. He is unsure where he's going. It's dark. He's losing air quick, struggling against the water. Then he breaks through the ice and catches his breath. In the live action, this scene is entirely paraphrased into just the end. Yes, Zuko breaks through the ice, but there's no build-up to it, no uncertainty, nothing conveying how long he had been underwater. It's like the show creators want to remake each shot, but fail to understand the meaning behind those shots, so you get purposeless scenes just like this. We receive this scene where Momo is close to death when the water princess heals him. I hate this. Momo does not deserve dedicated scenes like this. It's just plain dumb. He's a background character, more of an accessory really. The reason Momo even gets a scene like this is very simple. Do you know how much money Baby Yoda made for Disney? I'm willing to guess that character alone made millions for the company. That's why Baby Yoda came back to The Mandalorian, even after the show's narrative was clearly done with him. Because of this, we have to see more CGI slop goblins on screen like Momo. You might have heard everything I said and thought, wow, Walter, you're such a depressed boomer. Literally, let people enjoy things. Well, guess what? Your enjoyment ain't shit. You might enjoy eating chicken nuggets from McDonald's, but that makes you fat and stupid the more you eat, and it lowers the bar for what corporations can get away with. For these sorts of reasons, we have red 40 in our foods. At the end of the day, the cheapest product to churn out that yields the highest profit is the product that companies like Netflix will make, so don't watch it. Watch something worth its salt. Watch the original Avatar. I am the professional cynic, Salty Walty, and thank you for watching Walter's World.
Walter, remember when the world was young and all the girls knew Walter's name? Walter, isn't it a shame?